Welcome to the Upstate CFO Council. This organization was founded in 2019 by Robert Bendetti in order to provide a networking and educational forum for senior financial executives to share best practices, to discuss current financial issues, and to learn about current topics related to the performance of their job.
Good morning. Ian, how are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. Surviving the
Welcome.
virus.
We are. I'm glad we get to connect this way. This has been exciting for me to learn a little bit about the members, and I appreciate very much that you agreed to do this Meet a Member.
Great. So we're going to put these out on the video.
Absolutely. I'm going to post them to YouTube, and then you'll be able to link it to your LinkedIn profile if you want, and other folks will be able to see them.
Oh, perfect.
Well, Ian Bradley is the Vice President of TNS Brass, and one interesting fact that I found out about you online is that your undergrad was at Northumbria University in Northeast England, and I believe that Sting is a fellow graduate of that university. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not. I did know that Johnny Ive, that was the designer of the iPhone, graduated from Northumbria University. And interestingly enough, Cook, who is the head of Apple now, graduated from Auburn, where my wife went.
Very cool. Well, first question is, what is your favorite business book and why?
So I have two for two different reasons. The first one really, because I am really a manufacturing guy, have grown up in manufacturing all my life, is The Goal by Eli Goldratt, the classic. But I think it really puts to the point of driving financials and the right way to look at financials from a manufacturing perspective.
Excellent book.
Yeah, the second one I would say, I used to use this because I used to teach international finance at Furman on the adjunct faculty, is a book called China Street Smart by John Chan. And that's just a very, very easy read book about China and the Chinese people and really how you have to deal with them and ways to understand them. So it's a little dated now. And things have progressed a little bit in China because I think it's probably now nearly 20 years old. But a very interesting book about China and how the people there think.
I'm going to have to check that out. I've never read it. Question number 2, what is the best business advice that you've ever received?
Well, the best business advice was to get my SEMA qualification. When I first graduated from Northumbria University, I went to work for a company called Bryden in the UK. And they used to make steel wire rope and steel wire. And one of the things I was required to do was get my SEMA qualification. And I always remember I failed one part. Back then, the SEMA qualification had 16 parts to it.
Wow.
And I could elect out of 8 of them because I had an undergraduate degree in accounting. But it was very similar to a US MBA. And I've done my MBA in the US and I found it very, very similar to the SEMA qualification. But that was the best piece of advice I ever got. And I always remember my boss telling me after I failed one part, telling me if I failed another part, I was going to be fired. So that gave me a lot of impetus to pass that exam. So
Nothing like
that was the only professional exam I've ever failed.
Ian, what is one new habit or maybe a new tool that you've started using that you found beneficial?
So we're actually we're in a big implementation of a new ERP system, but 2 pieces of that are going to be add-on pieces that we are implementing right now. I think are going to be very, very beneficial for our finance group. One is a product called Board, which is a tool that we can use to do our global consolidations, so really automate our global consolidations, which we do very manually right now. And the biggest biggest problem we've had with implementing that is finding all the manual errors we've made over the years, because it's very difficult to deal with those with the different currencies. And the second product we're implementing right now, we just started this process, is a product called Bill Trust, which is going to automate a lot of our cash postings. So we have a lot of low dollar cash postings that go through our lockbox, and Bill Trust is a cloud-based system that can AI read our lockbox data, and hopefully will really automate our posting going forward, so we can repurpose our associates doing that work, because we have 3 people doing that right now. We want to repurpose those people to be really chasing cash instead of just posting cash.
Great. What is the best part of your current job?
Well, for me, I love working for a company the size of TNS, because we're not really what I would call very small, but we're not a $1 billion operation. So I get to get involved in all aspects of the business, and work with all the different groups of the business. So I really enjoy that rather than working for a bigger company. And specifically around the international side and international strategy. So I'm responsible for devising our strategy from a tax perspective and how we're organized. So we've set up a lot of companies around the world. We've got operations in China, we have operations in Italy, we have holding companies in the Netherlands. We have operations now. We set up a company just recently in India, because we have about 3 salespeople in India, and we're starting to grow there. So just really dealing with the differences. Sometimes it can be very frustrating, very time consuming, but it's just extremely interesting how all the different countries run.
What is something about yourself that you'd like to share?
I was actually the first person from my family to go to college.
Wow.
So my dad had his own business, and he ran that, and so I was the first person to go to college from my family.
That's fantastic. And last question, Ian, what is a question that I didn't ask that I should have, and what's your answer?
What advice would I give to younger financial professionals? So I would give them 2 pieces of advice. I think, firstly, I would say, don't fixate on the CPA exam. That might be controversial, but I find that a lot in the States, the CPA is required for positions where that's not what the training is. You know, you say CPA or MBA, well, it's nothing further apart than a CPA and an MBA. So, you know, I think the CMA qualification for people certainly going down the manufacturing route is extremely beneficial.
Very true.
And then second, don't be afraid to take some risks in your career. One of the best moves I ever made, the best move I ever made, was to come to the States as an expat when I was 26 years old. I had, family in the UK, but I wasn't married. I had no children, so it was a 3-year assignment, and I had really nothing to lose and everything to gain by taking that assignment. So that's really kind of set me up for being able to do a lot of international travel. And so I would say, anytime you get an opportunity to travel with work, take it, because it's not just the financial stuff that you're going to learn from, but it's all the different cultures you're going to get exposed to. That's really going to help you progress through life.
That's fantastic. I appreciate that advice. That's excellent advice. And thank you very much for taking the time to talk with me.
You're welcome. Thank you, Robert.
It was great. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Robert.